Does the Israeli strikes make the world more dangerous? And 59% said yes to that. The man promised us a healthcare plan over 450 weeks ago. It has been infrastructure week since I was born. Bibi Netanyahu is taking advantage of the situation, and he knows that Trump is going to back him up.
I want to hop into a few clips from a Fox News The Five segment, largely breaking down Trump's escalatory rhetoric towards Iran and the Israeli strikes backed by the US on Iran. So take a moment if you can, leave us a like on the video. It lets us know you enjoy the content. It's free, and it gives us a huge boost in the algorithm, and let's otherwise hop right into the debate.
Does the Israeli strikes make the world more dangerous? And 59% said yes to that. So you can, as usual with polling, you can find the answer that you want in there. And I would say it's a uniform feeling that people know that Iran is an adversary, that they don't want them to have a nuclear weapon. But once you start having a conversation about regime change, Americans get very skittish about this. And it was the first time, at least, that I had heard a senator mention it this morning. Tom Tillis was being interviewed, and he said it's time for regime change. And that is something that really flies in the face of Donald Trump, the peacetime president, or Donald Trump as the campaigner. I think that if this is packaged as we are going to take out their nuclear weapons, but we are not trying to take over their country, and we're not going to get engaged in decades-long wars that we have no business being in. People remember what that was like, and they don't enjoy it.
One of the few things you can remarkably always count on conservatives for is lying to get Americans killed in decades-long pointless wars. Bush did it. Now Trump is seemingly doing it here. First, it was promises of US troops annexing Gaza because, well, Israel wants us to. Now it's escalations into hints of jumping into the Israel-Iran conflict with US bombs or even troops because, well, Israel wants us to. And this is nothing new, right? Trump largely tried regime change in Venezuela his first term, encouraging an uprising. There was the whole Bay of Pigs fiasco, but it hits harder with his base this time around because, one, social media is more prominent, and he attempted so hard to sell himself as pro-peace and the no wars guy, and they all bought so hard into it, despite, of course, him escalating every conflict he was handed in his first term and it never being true. But now it's becoming clearer and clearer that he's not the peace guy. He can't broker any kind of a peace deal. He's way out of his depth and even trying, and he's only escalating any situation he touches again. I mean, where's Biden when you need him?
Mark Warner, who is the ranking Democrat on the Intel Committee, was echoing what Tulsi Gabbard had testified to back in March, where she essentially said, Iran is not on the precipice of having this weapon.
Do you believe that?
I don't know. I don't think Mark Warner has any reason to back up Tulsi Gabbard for fun, right? He didn't vote for her. He doesn't think that highly of her. And so I believe that Bibi Netanyahu is taking advantage of the situation, and he knows that Trump is going to back him up, and that Trump believes that the Israelis have earned this. I'm going to use the point, Greg, that I was supposed to make 2 days ago, that he has faith in the Israelis to be doing what's in, quote unquote, the best interests of the region. But you're going to have a real issue if this turns into a redux, putting aside the topography of Iran, of what we have already seen before, and you're not going to have an American appetite for it.
This is so frustrating to be a mainstream thing. Like, just that little tidbit from the Fox host really got me. The Fox host going, do you really believe that? Yes, I believe the IAEA and US intelligence that Iran was probably far away from nuclear weaponry. Literally the only reason to not believe that would be blatant racism. Oh, the brown terrorist guys have to have bombs. It's literally the same dumbass logic that Republicans used to get us into the last 20-year Republican war that killed endless of our sons and daughters. And let's just say that Iran did, right? Why are they not mentioning how if they do, it's a grave failure of Trump pulling us out of the Iran nuke deal? Like, where is a joint comprehensive plan of action when you need one?
Bibi has been doing what Bibi wants to do, and we're following along. I don't know where that leads, but this idea that Donald Trump adheres to deadlines is absolutely ludicrous. The man promised us a healthcare plan over 450 weeks ago. It has been infrastructure week since I was born. Russia's sanctions are supposed to be coming in 2 weeks. A tax plan. 2 weeks is meaningless. Jesse might be right. It may happen tomorrow. It may happen in 2 weeks. It may happen in a year. I don't know. But they're going to have to deal with the fact that there is a contrast within the intel community right now. Caroline Levitt from the podium is essentially parroting Israel or Mossad's assessment of the risk from Iran, saying that this could be a couple of weeks. Our intel community is saying that it could be several months to a year, which is what Tulsi Gabbard testified to in March.
Right, guys. I'm sure the intelligence from the people who leveled 80% of Gaza because, well, the terrorists were there, only for the terrorists to repeatedly not be there and them to go, well, oopsies, are the ones who are right, and our intelligence and IAEA is all wrong, right?
They have the wherewithal, the stored up, preserved knowledge to make a bomb very quickly if they wanted to do it.
Iran is so dangerous. Weeks away from having the fissile material for an entire arsenal of nuclear bombs.
They're very close. They're 6 months away from being about 90% of having the enriched uranium for an atom bomb. Iran is gearing up to produce 25 bombs, atomic bombs a year, 250 bombs in a decade. Ladies and gentlemen, time is running out.
Iran will be capable of producing alone, without importing anything, nuclear bombs within 3 to 5 years.
Trump is just bought and paid for on this issue. Miriam Adelson is getting her $100 million worth. You see it in Trump not only taking a back seat, but allowing Netanyahu to do this, but consistently offering help and U.S. troops and munitions as aid to get him to do so. I mean, it's vile. But to Jessica's point, and the only saving grace Americans might have here as things legitimately reach scary levels of, like, we're going to get into conflict, is that Trump and Republicans fail at governing legislatively at almost everything. They're really bad at banding together to do anything. So it's probably not going to happen out of sheer inability from Republicans. And I'm just holding on to that because we're going to lose a lot of lives for no reason, if not.